What do you mean a bird or a car, bro? It's a fucking bird car. You actually were in the stream, bro. Weren't you? There's no way you're that fast to open the stream. That's fucked. In Cedar Rapids, I assume. Oh, it's Alex. I should, like, remind myself that people fucking really like me somewhat. It's hard to say that, though. What do you think of that? Pretty good, eh? How was, yeah, how was, tell me more about your, like, tranquil state last night where you got hit by a benzo or something like that. If you want to talk about it, that is. What's with you? Why are you in a weird headspace? Oh, fuck. Well, that's not my fault that it keeps buffering. I can't chat either. How bad is it buffering? Yeah? I completely validate that, bro. That sounds like what I went through, bro. I know exactly what that's like. Like fuck. But that's what it felt like when it was at the worst. So I know you don't believe me when I say it gets better, but it does get better. Like you're literally early 20s, bro. Early 20s when things went like way downhill for me. And just kind of, you just gotta fall through it and you're good. And then your whole life, it's like, wow, I look back at my 20s, what the fuck happened there? So actually, there's the thing. Yeah, that's the self-sabotage part. That's just that you've had it for so long, you don't know anything different. It's like being institutionalized. No, people who go to jail get that. People who go to prison get that. People who go to the funny farm get that. You get comfortable. You get comfortable in the discomfort. And it's like, you just, like, it's fucked. Like, it's not, it's like, they use it like it's, like, necessary, but, like, okay, I'm not going to get into that, how I dislike the whole corrections and rehabilitation system. So, is it buffering right now? Okay, so I felt the most defeated I have ever felt when I got out of jail. I went from manic delusions to fucking extremely dark moribund depression, moribund, however you say that. And I straight up, within a fucking, like, a very short amount of time, it was instantly crashed to the worst I've ever been. And it stayed like that for multiple years. And I genuinely, well, partially at least, don't know if I would have made. Actually, no, I don't. Yeah, I genuinely don't know if I would have made it if I didn't do like a shit ton of antidepressant drugs, PCP analogs, ketamine analogs, oral cyclohexylamine. And so it's because I felt so defeated that it just kind of it's. But the trade off was there's always a positive. The trade off was I wasn't actively psychotic anymore. Like my mood just fucking destroyed itself. But I wasn't thinking that I thought broadcasting because that's what literally caused me to go into a depressed mood. Is the fact that I was so defeated. Like I thought this girl, this old school acquaintance, I thought she was going to be outside the police station or the jail or the court system and just like be there to give me a hug. And she wasn't. So I fucking snapped out of reality into reality. And it was like, the positive was, the only time I go back to like actively being that psychotic is when under drugs. So, holy fuck, it's hot, but it's cold at the same time. I don't know what the fuck I said that for. I was just trying to relate, honestly. It was. I didn't really feel tranquil, but I felt defeated, and there was a positive to feeling defeated. Yeah, I mean, everyone has that to some degree, whether it's a drug addiction or psychosis. Have you like? I don't understand. Like, I don't really like. I worry about things, but not excessively. So and for recently, I've been using mindfulness to just fucking change my thoughts, and that changes my feelings, which changes my behaviors. CBT triangle, and it's fucking. I can at least stop the thoughts by just focusing on my hand, just feeling the sensations on my hand. So there's a part in the NCR documentary. I told you about this last night, where the guy literally just gives up his OCD and it just eventually fixes itself. Like I think at that moment it just fixed itself. He was like, I was just fucking so tired of this bullshit. The brain was just like, hey, we're listening this time, and just shut down that part of the brain. And that's exactly what happened with me with this psychosis, albeit temporarily because I have a chronic disorder. But like, maybe that's what you need to do. You just need to think so hard into it. This may actually backfire completely. But honestly, if you're out of options, I don't see the problem. Just fucking think so hard into it that it just snaps you out of it. Have you actually Googled people with anxiety, like severe anxiety disorders, like much more, like, they can't even leave their house type deal? Much more like, but gone in a good way or bad way. Does it matter, actually? If it's gone, it's gone. What were you, if you don't mind me asking, what were you worrying about? Because, like, you can try mental tactics to just try and combat it. Like, behavioral activation. Like, if you straight up just go charge straight into it. Like, hey, I'm afraid of going to the park. What you do is you look out your window to the park. You see it's fine. The next day you open your door to the park. Like, say you live by a park, obviously. And then you see it's fine. And then the next day you go 10 steps out your house to the road. And you're like, hey, I can do this. What, have you tried that? Shit like that? Because I'm pretty sure that works against anxiety. Fucking good track car. Okay, so there's a thing called comorbidity. Most people are comorbid with something. It's just traits. I have ADHD traits. Almost everybody has ADHD traits. Because ADHD physically, I mean, this isn't because, but it's an example. ADHD physically is a dopamine disorder where you don't have enough dopamine and like neurotransmitters, like like dopamine, to bind to the receptors. So you constantly seek out the thing that gives you the most dopamine. Almost everybody has an addiction that is caused by them seeking out dopamine. They all have this one thing, at least, where they seek it out intensely. Like, so, if you sit in class and you see something funny, you fucking, I don't know, you do something, right? I have no experience doing that. Uh, and that would be called ADHD traits, but it uses the dopamine system. It's not necessarily ADHD, but everyone has a unique brain that causes them to have proclivities. You don't have ADHD, but he's just if anything, he's projecting. And you can like, have you tried like? Why don't you try like looking up a symptom? Like focus. Why don't you try focusing? You play the guitar all the time, bro. What the fuck? If you like stopped to chat every single time, my wife worried about my schizophrenia. You don't have schizophrenia. Schizophrenia you wouldn't know you have. Usually. I think anyway. I mean, it's kind of not really. I mean, I have schizophrenia, and I know I have schizophrenia, but that doesn't stop the mental delusions. I just kind of think that things sometimes. But it doesn't really matter. Schizophrenia is a label fucking anyway, bro. If you could live your whole life without seeing a doctor, you will never have schizophrenia. By definition. Then, have you tried, how much have you leaned into your anxiety? Have you just spent the whole time thinking about it and never actually leaning into it? There's a thing called radical acceptance. And like just leaning into it, just be like, yeah, maybe I do have cancer. So what? Like just roll that way. Instead of being like, oh fuck, do I have cancer? Oh shit. Like shit like that. I assume that's what it's like based on what you're saying. I don't really know what it's like having like not extreme, but anxiety. Compared to me, it's like I barely have anxiety. But like I like. I don't know how to like. I have you tried looking up uh like anxiety disorders and stuff like that? What'd you find? I don't know what that means.